Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Everyday EDC. My name is Tyler, and today we are going to do a review of the Sencut Scepter. So this is a pretty interesting, cool little guy, and I hate saying interesting because I feel like I'm already taking like a Nick Shabazz slash Metal Complex look on this, but it's an interesting piece, and there's some pros and cons to Sencut so far from what we've seen, and I am making you guys look at a weird ass angle. Hold on, fixing. All right. So what makes this piece interesting is that it looks awesome. This is a mixture between the Penguin and I don't know if I would say the Elementum, because the Elementum's got a different style. Let's see here. I don't have one, but I want you guys to see. This is what the Elementum style would look like. It's not really a finger choil, but I consider it one because I can pull down. This is an actual full-fledged finger choil on this scepter. So the ergonomics on this little guy are pretty good. Actually, the ergonomics on this are better than the Penguin and maybe the same as the Elementum. This is riding on, I want to say, ceramic ball bearings, as is the case with all Sencuts up to this point. And the action is pretty darn good. I have no back and forth blade play. The blade is slightly shifted off center unless my eyes are goofy. Maybe it's perfectly center. To me, it looks like it's hanging off to the right. Yeah, let's just take a look at it this way. I don't know, I'm making too big of a deal about it. If I can't tell, I can't tell. And by the way, this is like a $40 knife, so you're going to have a little bit of things here and there. You have this micarta, which I'm starting to feel like cheap micarta feels like compressed cardboard. I guess that's not a complaint because it doesn't feel awful, but it feels nicer than, say, G10. It's just a nice change-up, but there's nothing too special about it. And being that it's such a cheaper knife, you don't have any chamfering around the edges of any sort. I mean, it's just kind of just there. It's almost blocky, kind of like the Penguin. So you have a T8, a T8 that is loose. Hey, get back there. What the hell? And I didn't loosen these up, so the fact that there's a T8 that's loose is relatively annoying. And if this is anything like the rest of the Sencuts, this pivot is not captive. So that's kind of a knock. Let's see if tightening that up actually centered it up a little bit more. No, whatever. So the fit and finish of this guy is not bad. Go ahead and take a look. It's got a pretty cool deep carry pocket clip that is ambidextrous. You got a lanyard hole that isn't, something that they emphasized, that they just kind of tacked it in there, so that's pretty sweet. You have a forward finger choil for this nice little blade shape that is very, very similar to the Elementum. And like I said, it's Elementum slash Penguin had a baby, which those are two really good knives, and so this must be a pretty good baby, right? I believe this steel is 9CR 18 MOV. Yeah, you guys won't be able to see it, I don't think. But it's right there. So it's 9CR 18 MOV. You got minimal billboarding on here, so you got the Sencut right there, and that's it. So it's a pretty clean-looking, awesome stone-washed blade. The fact that Civivi never even did a stone-washed blade other than maybe on, oh, shit, what was it? I want to say one of the Bull Mastiffs, maybe the Mastodon, maybe the Isham designs, like the Plethros or Anthropos. But I don't think they did too many real stone-washed finishes, and Sencut, in my opinion, kind of nailed it. It looks pretty sweet. So you have a nice swedge that comes down here, and actually the edges are knocked down. It's not really crowned, I would say, but they just kind of did a little bit chamfering, I don't know if that's the right terminology, all on the spine of the blade, which is pretty sweet. Again, no blade play. The access to the liner locks, pretty simple. The action's just fine. And the cool part about this is you got a flipper tab, which is very unobtrusive. Look how small that guy is. Just a little guy. So that flipper tab works just fine. You can thumb flick it with the thumb studs just fine. And let's see if we can reverse flick it. It's a difficult position it's a hard position to get into. It's such a small knife. Maybe I can do it with my pointer finger. Not really worth it. So you can reverse flick it, I guess. Maybe not. You got a pocket clip that is also tumbled finish, which, and again, even the pocket clips. Do I have a Civivi around here? The pocket clip almost looks like more went into it than the Civivi pocket clip, and this is the brass rubbed finish Brigand. So it's cool. They're putting a lot of elements into aesthetics. That's going to bring us to another point. But let's take a look at these thumb studs. They have this nice circular pattern on there. I don't know if you guys can see it. They're really comfortable in hand. And overall, this is a pretty cool little knife. So let's jump into the specs. We'll go into some size comparisons. I'll talk about what I don't and do like about the knife. And then I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer at the end of this. Something to watch out for. So the overall length of the Sencut Scepter is coming in under 7 inches. This is just about 6 9/10 of an inch. The blade length on this guy is coming in at just about 3 inches, and the cutting edge due to the finger choil is about 2 3/4. Let us check the overall weight. Well, maybe let's wait. I might have screwed up the zeroing. All right, getting a little excited here. The overall weight's coming in at a whopping 2.45 inches. So realistically, that's pretty damn good. Now let's check the blade stock thickness. If it's anything like Civivi's, it's going to be pretty narrow and come down even further. The blade stock's only coming in at 115 thousandths. So it's stupid thin to start with. It's a pretty damn thin filler conversation. Wow, that just took like a death. All right, so about 19 thousandths behind the edge there. Let's check up here. About 20 thousandths. So you're looking at about 20 thousandths behind the edge thickness. Not terribly slicey, but 20 thousandths will get you anywhere. You don't have that Civivi stupid sliciness. And part of the reason is I kind of thought this was hollow ground, and now that I'm looking at it, is definitely a flat grind. If they would have done this in hollow ground, they would have killed it with this, in my opinion. You might as well. This is a $40 knife. Just freaking go for it. So the overall thickness of the scales coming in at 0.44 inches. That is about 0.06 inches more narrow than the average that I say. Yeah, I consider the average at 0.5. 0.46 is pretty good, or 0.44. The overall height of this is coming in at 1.08 inches. To put that into perspective, your PM2 is coming in at 1.6, your PM3 is coming in at a 1.66, and your Manix 2 is coming in at a 1.74. So it's a very, very narrow, lean, long, not really long, but it feels long because it's not chunky. Let's get into some size comparisons. Here is your mini feldspar and your Civivi Brigand. As you can see, it's even a little bit smaller than your mini feldspar. So it's not a large knife. I'm not going to do all the large knives on here because you've seen that's a fairly small knife. That is your Rat Model 1. And here is your Rat Model 2. Even the Rat Model 2's got it in length. And let's just do... Here is your PM2. Another typically, as you can see, it's just about the same length and in the ballpark of length as these. But if we can take something from here, it's about the same as the Rat Model 2. Like, you almost don't even see the Rat Model 2 underneath there. That's a good comparison. If you're going to pick up the Rat Model 2, you can also take a look at the Sencut Scepter. They're a very good size comparison of each other. And I think it's a valid point to kind of just take a look at these and say, look, you know, if you want one or the other, they're the same price. For the D2 version versus the 9CR version of the Sencut, it's the same price. The Rat Model 2 has pretty good ergonomics. So does the Sencut Scepter. It's pretty good ergonomics there as well. The action, the Sencut Scepter's got it. You got D2 steel in the Rat Model 2, so that's probably got you better, better cutting edge or, edge retention, sorry, brain fart. I don't want to look like I'm trying to rush through this because I feel like I am. It's just I'm excited about this. Here is the one disclaimer, guys. I've been watching Outpost 76. Shit. This blade steel is not holding up from what he's experienced to other Civivis and Wiis and even other D2s and 9CRs. It's just not holding up. It's almost like the chemical composition's correct, but maybe the heat treat isn't. So the hardness may be at, 56 when it's supposed to be at 58 or 59, which if you guys know anything about the logarithmic hardness scale, it's not just a linear. It's going to go up and let's say this point is 57, this point's 58, and this point's 59, it's not going to go like this. It's going to go, okay, so you get this much edge retention, and then it shoots up. It's going to shoot up like that. So it's a pretty significant difference if it's 1 or 2 points off in the hardness scale. What are the good things about this knife? The aesthetics. The aesthetics are going to get an A to an A-. Very good looking aesthetics, very good looking stonewash blade. We love 9CR18. It's cool that you have the flipper and the thumb studs. The liner's really easy to access. You have this deep carry ambidextrous pocket clip with this nice micarta. It does feel a little cheap, but it's not crazy. It feels way better than FRN. If we went to cheap micarta over FRN, we'd be winning every day of the week. What are the downsides? I see no downsides until we get real results with the blade steels. Sencut has my full backing as long as they get these heat treats close to being right. I said that way wrong. But to put that into perspective, the Sencut was underperforming by like 50 or 60 feet. And go back and watch his video. He obviously explains it way better. I'm just kind of regurgitating his information. And I don't talk to him or anything. It's just it was like, frick, Sencut. Like, come on. This is what we were worried about. Do not cut costs on the heat treat. If anything, that's the one thing you really need to focus on. Unless you're just trying to aesthetically market to us. Is that a downside? Am I like hindering you guys from buying this because of that? I wouldn't say so, because so far I'm impressed. And even if the heat treat sucks, for $40, you have a pretty cool piece here. It's just nice to know that if you're going to buy something, you're getting what you're paying for. Overall, Sencut with the Scepter, the Actium, and the Sidious have all been pretty sweet knives. I'm very impressed with the Actium. I'm very impressed with the Scepter. I'm going to do some... I'm not good enough at sharpening yet to do my own angled tests like Super Steel Steve or Outpost 76, but I will show you the factory edge sharpening test and the length that they're going to get out of the working edge and the fine edge. Working edge being it's going to cut through paper, fine edge going to be it's cutting through your hairs on your arm. And we'll start with that, and we'll kind of get just a generic ballpark. Maybe I'll try to do sections of the knife so I can duplicate it, but I don't want to give you guys statistical data based on my own sharpening skills, which are good enough for me, but not good enough to duplicate results. Totally off tangent. This is the Sencut Scepter. Highly recommend this knife for $40. Let's just cross our fingers on that heat treat, guys. My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.